James Corden is an English actor, comedian, singer, writer, producer, and former television host. Yes, I said former because he started to develop the worst reputation in Hollywood and he got kicked out of his last gig, and it's all for the best.
I've decided to sign for one more year on the show, and that this will be my last year hosting the Late Late Show. Don't you dare. This will be my last year hosting the show.
Most famously known for co-writing and starring in the critical acclaimed BBC sitcom Gavin and Stacey, and a few years later as the host of the Late Late Show with James Corden, which aired from 2015 to 2023. Throughout this video, we will be looking at how James Corden rose to fame and then fell all the way to the deepest parts of the unknown. Welcome to the Guccino's Bazaar, and I am your host, the Guccino. Before we begin this story, I would like you to like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more crazy stories just like this one. It will immensely help the channel. Thank you. James Corden has known many successes throughout his career, like a BAFTA television award, and he hosted many shows such as the Tony Awards. He is personating the perfect image of the good guy, but in the recent years, something else came up. Some darkness in James came out of him and showed all of us what kind of character he truly is. But first, we're gonna go a little bit back in the timeline. Corden was born in Hillington, Great London, from a musician father and a social worker mother, and early in his adulthood life he started to act in little roles in television, and he also had many roles as an extra or as a guest appearance, for example in Whatever Happened to Harold Smith. All of these little achievements led him to 2007, where he co-starred his own series on the BBC Three sitcom Gavin and Stacey, which he won 2 awards for in 2008 and 2010, and all of these achievements started to pump Corden's ego and slowly caressed it to become bigger and even bigger. And slowly but surely, he started to grow that persona that everybody started to hate, actually. He started to be rude to everybody, and the more time passes, the more rude he was becoming towards literally everybody. People close to him and people working for him, literally everybody. And through the years, he has been in many small roles that didn't get him the fame he was looking for right away. But all of that gave him the experience in the industry.
Hi, is that Smithy?
Who this?
It's Lenny.
Who?
Lenny Henry?
Do I know you?
Yeah.
Lenny Henry from Lenny Henry Live and Unleashed?
Nah.
Chef?
Hey?
Hope and Glory?
Nah, I think you got the wrong number, mate.
I'm the bloke from the Premier Inn adverts.
How are you, mate?
But throughout all of that experience, he learned how to live that life, how to spend it all, how to do it all, how to party all the time, and how to have it all. But to achieve such high standards, Corden was actually stepping on everybody's foot. He was literally living that lifestyle, spending all that money and partying all the time, even with strangers that he didn't know sometimes, and he would just go to party with. He also tried going to many therapy sessions, apparently to help him be less rude, apparently, and it didn't work. It didn't quite work. He was still so rude to his people. It was unbelievable, and he would literally treat them like garbage. Corden even stated that in order for him to succeed, he needed to bully his way all the way to the top, all the way to 2015.
I really couldn't be more honoured to be stood here talking to you now, and believe me, however shocked you are that I am doing this job, you will never be as shocked as I am. But I promise you we're going to have fun on this show, and I promise we're going to do everything we can to put a smile on your face before, or let's be honest, more likely whilst you fall asleep at night.
In March 2015, Corden succeeded Craig Ferguson as the host of the Late Late Show, and everything skyrocketed for him. He used to have many segments and many types of entertainment ideas, and some of his most famous ones are Fill Your Guts or Spell Your Guts, followed with Crosswalk the Musical and the Carpool Karaoke. Corden did numerous editions with Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Mariah Carey, Madonna, Jennifer Lopez, Harry Styles, Katy Perry, and his most notable one with Adele that went super viral on YouTube in 2016. Apple TV also came out and made a streaming series from it called Carpool Karaoke, the series. Another special went viral a bit later called Carpool Karaoke when Cordon met McCartney live from Liverpool, and it was an instant hit again that earned him a Primetime Emmy Award nomination, and he won for Outstanding Variety Special. And in those times, Corden, as I said, he was living the best time of his life, doing whatever he wanted to do, because also he felt like he was untouchable in a whole category of his own, which also opened the doors for him to start performing in many more movies and TV shows. But, and there's always a but, his content was never the greatest ever, and it was never greatly received by the audience too. And everybody found his performances a little bit tacky, but nothing is stopping him. His super dimensional ego kept him going all the way to an award ceremony where I will let you see what he was actually about and what he did in that ceremony, and I will let you be the judge of whatever happened.
When the presenters are up here and when the recipients are receiving their awards, don't stand at the back of the stage with your hands in your pockets, looking around as though you wished you were anywhere but here.
Oh, you couldn't be more wrong, sir. You couldn't be more wrong. Oh, genuinely. And if it looked like that, I'm so sorry. But when you come up and present an award, just get on with it. There we go.
From where I was sitting, I can see your belly. And that was right over there at the back of the room. These people down here, you know.
Sorry, I'm waiting for the punchline. Go on. No, seriously, go on.
Okay.
No, go on. You can see my belly, and we can all see you dying right now. Let's go for it. Here we go.
Every encounter has to be about him, and if he feels that he's not the center of the conversation and the whole center of whatever is going on, little Corden gets actually super mad and he starts to throw a tantrum, which kind of sounds like a little baby that starts to cry and scream whenever he wants something. Until he gets it, he will stay in that state. Then in other clips on the internet as well, we can also see that whenever somebody shoves a camera on his face, he's always acting super mad or super angry and super disinterested. Because why? It's not a great feeling to have a whole camera right there in front of your face 24/7. And when you do that, especially in his case, you get to see sometimes his real true face, which is not that cool to see. And with that coming out, he actually went on Reddit and started to ask people some questions. And the answers he got from those questions were pretty terrible. I will let you see what happened. I am not a massive fan of James Corden. Went more to see a TV show being taped, so I can see why some people are disappointed. James doesn't really interact with the audience. In fact, he didn't even wave, acknowledge, or thank us when leaving the studio, which I thought was a bit unnecessary. He is clearly there to get a job done and get out. Atmosphere is generated by the audience and is your sole purpose of being there. If you're not laughing, clapping, and cheering like crazy, that's your mission. You won't be able to hear James over it at times too. Audience who get to sit at the front are clearly picked on dress sense, think going out for dinner look. Was good to see how a show is put together, but if you are a fan of James, don't expect too much. I think if you want to see more interaction from the host, go to Jimmy Fallon or Ellen. And we all know what happened to Ellen too. Hey James, you won't remember me, but me and my friends sat at a table next to you and Harry Styles plus some others in Mancunian Legends in London, Chinatown about 6 years ago. We didn't bother you, but you were a massively entitled cunt who yelled and treated the waitstaff like shit. and when one of my party politely suggested you calm down, you got really aggressive and threatening in a chubby way like a boozy panda? So my question is this: why did Harry seem so cool while you were such a massive throbbing bellend? I mean, the evidence is here, so let's look at it a little bit more in this one. And this one is from Manager's Report number 2. James Corden was at Balthazar with his wife on October 9th for brunch. He asked for a table outside. Walters took the party to table 301. Mr. Corden's wife ordered an egg yolk omelette with Gruyere cheese and salad. A few minutes after they received the food, James called their server MK and told her there was a little bit of egg white mixed with the egg yolk. MK informed the floor manager. Jay, the kitchen, remade the dish but unfortunately sent it with home fries instead of salad. That's when James Corden began yelling like crazy to the server, "You can't do your job, you can't do your job, maybe I should go into the kitchen and cook the omelette myself." MK was very apologetic and brought G over to the table. He returned the dish and after that everything was fine. He gave them promo champagne glasses to smooth things out. Jay said that Corden was pleasant to him but nasty to the server. MK was very shaken, but professional that she is, continued to finish her shift. And that's how you see that he is an actual douchebag, and specifically in this last post where you actually see Tales from the Cockpit. Half an hour into a New York to London flight, passengers in business class noticed a woman with a crying baby being brought through the curtains by a flight attendant. They looked on in mild horror as they saw the attendant direct her into an empty seat next to James Corden. Corden's cabin mates were impressed to see that he didn't say a word or make any sort of complaint. He simply put on a pair of noise-canceling headphones, pulled an eye mask over his eyes, and turned away from her to sleep. Pretty decent of him, right? When the plane landed, though, passengers were surprised to see Corden remain seated as the woman with the baby struggled to open the overhead locker. And even more surprised when she turned to Corden and said, "For fuck's sake, can you at least hold the baby while I get the bags down?" The woman was his wife. The baby was his baby. And that is the most shocking of them all, to the point where he doesn't even take care of his own family in a normal matter where, you hold your baby and you take care of your wife. This guy is truly showing his face to the world, and his face does not look good. And we can clearly see that James is always ready to throw any kind of tantrum over any kind of issues, small or big, with family or no family. I mean, it's unbelievable what you find on people when you see that there's a difference in between how they behave themselves in front of the camera and then how they behave themselves not in front of the camera. His movie career is not the brightest at all. In every movie he played as an actor, it's either the movie was bad or he was bad in it, with at some point thousands of people signing a petition for the worst actor ever. Even with the reunion of the show Friends after 15 years, he was apparently going to be the host of it, but the backlash he got from it online was incredible, going all the way to people stating that they are not interested in the show if Corden is the host.
I'm fine.
The creme de la creme is his beef with Bill Maher, and after Bill gave the mic, metaphorically, to Corden to actually speak up about obesity and all of those serious questions, Corden actually took it as an offense and started to attack, started to say, instead of giving a real message to the whole world and to a whole generation, he instead gave them a message, always complain. He gave them one of the worst advices ever. And while that could have been one of the best ways to educate a whole new generation, you could say that he was actually one of the personas that actually helps the new generation fail. And from this, everybody saw what kind of personality James Corden was truly, specifically since new comments of how he used to fake the carpool karaoke videos popped up. In those videos, just like I said before, he would invite a music superstar and sing in a car while driving. Pretty easy, but even this, and they found a way to mess it up. They used to put a car on a trailer and Corden with his special guest will be pulled in the car. And as soon as everybody found out, it was time for him to get cancelled. After all of these allegations, bad press, bad comments, and hate for James Corden personally, he finally came out in April 2022 and announced that he was leaving The Late Late Show in 2023, so in 1 year.
When I started this journey, it was always going to be just that. It was going to be a journey, an adventure. I never saw it as my final destination, you know, and I never want this show to overstay its welcome in any way. I always want to love making it. And I really think in a year from now, that'll be a good time to move on and see what else might be out there.
He said that he wants to end his career now because he wants to focus on his family and in the well-being of his family. But no one truly believes that. He saw the heat coming his way and he decided to flee the battle before it even started, and it's probably for the better. Bye, Cordon.